We just won this client a 6-figure government contract for the provision of mental health and physical activity community support. And this contract is not even going to be delivered in the area where the client is based. Not every tender is ideal for your business. Market engagement events help you to influence the council. On this contract and on this bid specifically, this client was ranked number 1 out of the 8 total submissions and was just over 1% shy of scoring 100% across the entire bid. Now, this isn't to brag or to boast, but this is just to reiterate, as I've been doing in the other videos, that you also can win this contract and can win many more contracts as long as you actually focus on key areas in the bid. Now, these are 5 areas that we had to focus on in order to win this bid. So make sure if you want to win more care contracts, more support contracts, you watch till the end, because I'm going to break every single area down for you to also help you in your bids. One of the sections here was to do with how we demonstrated our experience and service capability. Now, the feedback on this particular one was that we were able to demonstrate on behalf of the client a clear service delivery model. Keyword here is clear. Quite often we overcomplicate our responses, we make it almost too vague or too general and not specific to the individuals or the group that we're supporting. A clear model needs to be very concise, and it also needs to show and clearly demonstrate and showcase the individual's journey working with you or as you're going to be delivering the service, which also needs to be outcome focused. Another thing within this section is the staffing. So how are you going to ensure that you have and you maintain and retain the staff that you will need to deliver this model and continue to do so as well. Third thing here is volunteering. So any additional support via volunteering to make sure you have additional support and resources and capability as well. So you can see here, there are a number of different factors that all coincide together. So you will be able to explain and clearly demonstrate that, look, this service is one that we are going to be able to deliver and deliver consistently because we have the experience in doing so. The next section here, and also a very common section, is the accessibility of the service. So in this area, this is where you have to ensure that your service doesn't discriminate or doesn't isolate any particular group or individual. For example, how does your service also consider individuals from various cultures? So how is your service culturally flexible to accommodate a range of different people, like I said, from different cultures? Demonstrate this and articulate this clearly, not vaguely. Secondly, regardless of culture, there are other factors. This could be due to ethnicity, it could be age, it could be down to particular disabilities, the list goes on. But that service needs to consider individuals from a wide range of other groups as well. So you can do so by explaining what resources or what approach or what model you use to ensure that your service considers this. Now, bear in mind that I also mentioned that this client here isn't based in the area. So this is going to be delivered in the Midlands, but this client is in the east of England, specifically in Hertfordshire. However, they still scored higher than every single agency or bidder bidding for this particular tender. This is a very clear indication that irrespective of where you are based, as long as the contract or the tender doesn't specify a specific location or the need for you to be in a specific location at the point of bidding, you can still win that tender and that contract. This is because on this section, this is where we were focused on showcasing our mobilization. So a demobilization plan. A mobilization plan needs to consider how you intend to deliver the service from XYZ location where you're based, assuming that you're based out of the area. A few things here have to be considered, which we cannot cover in this video. However, one of the key main points here is the staffing, because of course, for the most part, it's going to be your staff or yourself delivering the service. So if you're not in the area, showcase how you're going to run, what's your recruitment plan, how you're going to recruit staff or particular volunteers to help you or to actually deliver the service for your organization. But it's not just the staff as well. This could also be partners. Do you have existing or do you intend to collaborate with partners within the area where the service is also going to be delivered? This could also involve training. What particular training or governance model are you going to follow to ensure that your staff have the relevant training for that particular area in that particular service? Even though it might be the service, the area can also impact the level of training that your staff might need. So a mobilization plan should always consider every single factor and be detailed and as concise as possible. Number 4, partnership and collaboration. Now, this is also a very significant part on a lot of tenders and contracts you're going to bid for a range of different reasons. Thinking of it from your perspective as the business owner here, this will not only allow you to utilize other resources that may not be immediately available to yourself or to your agency, for whatever reason, it will also allow you to save cost. Because if you're going to utilize other agencies or other partners who are skilled specialists, this might also minimize the cost you would have to invest to deliver that service or that particular specialism yourself. So partnership and collaboration is very key. And we had to demonstrate what partners we're going to work with, why we're going to work with them, and exactly why do we need to, and why is this necessary for the individual's particular journey or the service delivery on this contract. So this would include typically schools or any particular educational facilities, particular charity organizations, or in this case, because we're running and going to be engaging in physical activity, we could also include physical activity partners, or links or specialists as well. Because again, the service is very tailored to physical activity, or is one of the core services here needed. Number 5, monitoring, evaluation, and continuous improvement. This essentially is where we had to focus on how the service is focused on delivering an outcome. How is it outcome measured? How do we measure the outcome for the individual or the individuals using the service that we're going to be offering or going to be delivering? In short, this has to show that not only are you delivering service for the sake of delivering the service, you have to deliver, or you have to showcase what model, what framework, what approach you're taking to ensure that the service you're delivering is intentional, because there needs to be an outcome at the end of that delivery. This could be by setting specific KPIs, how you're going to monitor the delivery of the service itself through the resources and ensure that the KPIs you set are met, what are the contingency plans, etc. But there needs to be an outcome, and needs to be outcome focused for these individuals. And a bonus point you should always consider when bidding for these sort of contracts and tenders in general is the social value. In short, how are you going to contribute to the community in that area if they were to award you the tender? This could be through a range of different means, such as what volunteering or employment opportunities are you going to create, learning opportunities are you going to provide for other suppliers or local suppliers. So what's your local supplier spend in the area? So your business, your agency should be able to contribute to that geographical location. So that's how you add social value. Like I said, the list goes on. But these are the 5, call it 6 points that we had to focus on to make sure we scored nearly 100%, but nearly isn't 100%. So in the next one, we're going to get the 100%. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because we're going to be sharing a lot more methods of how to win similar tenders, especially if you're in health and social care, housing, transports, etc. The link is going to be in the description below. So if you did want to get in touch, contact me for whatever reason and I would support, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, leave a comment if you want specific information on how to win tender or things to avoid so you don't lose a tender, whatever the case is. Thank you.